Birish, how would you describe the reactions to this conflict across Asia?
I think overall there is a lot of concern in the region amongst capitals in the region as to how this conflict started and where it is headed. But a lot of this concern is also being manifested in the form of support for one side or the other. So, for example, you look at countries like India, Singapore and the Philippines, who seem to be firmly on the side of Israel. Particularly for India, it's a matter of countering terrorism and being against terrorism. And you also see that these three countries in particular are also aligned to the United States. So that is another thread there that is interesting. And on the other hand, you have countries like we saw in the report. We have Indonesia, Bangladesh and Pakistan, where the pro-Palestine sentiment amongst the people is so high and has always been so that they appear to be firmly on the side of the Palestinians and Palestinian rights. And then you have certain countries like Thailand, for instance, which appear neutral and remain neutral.
Now, which citizens of which countries do we know have been caught up in this conflict?
Thailand is one of the worst affected because Thailand has lost some 21 nationals so far based on latest reports, and there is 11 nationals who appear to be in the custody of Hamas. And I don't know if many people know this, but there's roughly between 4,500 to 30,000 Thai nationals who work in Israel. So the hostage issue particularly is a big problem for the Thai government, trying to bring its citizens back from Gaza. And what the Thai government has already done is trying to bring back citizens from Israel who would like to come back to Thailand. And then you also have in the same vein citizens of countries like the Philippines and India. There's something like 30,000 Filipinos who work in Israel, and the Filipino government has set up a task force to coordinate with Filipinos there. The Indian government has has started an operation and started efforts to bring back any of the 18,000 Indians who would like to come back to India. And then you also have China, which is reporting that 3 of its nationals have been killed in these attacks in Israel.
You just mentioned China. What's China's reaction in general?
I mean, the Chinese reaction is very interesting because just a few days back, they urged calm and restraint. It was a rather muted statement. And then today, a new statement appeared in which it appeared that China was offering itself as a mediator. And it's really not a surprise because China has been aiming for that position of a mediator, an honest broker of sorts in the Middle East to try and mediate not just between the Israelis and the Palestinians, with whom China does have good relations. In fact, in June itself, China signed a strategic partnership with the Palestinian Authority, and you also have good Chinese relations with the Israelis as well. China investing billions of dollars over more than a decade in infrastructure, particularly in Israel. So you have China trying to take the position of an honest broker and try and move the US out of its dominant position as a mediator in the Middle East. And that is how the Chinese statement should be viewed.
Birish Banerjee there from DW News Asia. Thank you very much, Birish.